All right, guys, tonight we're going to talk about metric conversions, okay? Metric, like the metric system, that metric conversions. We're going to be converting between units of the metric system, okay? So I want you to think of what those words were that I told you. If you saw those words at the end of a unit of measurement, that was going to be metric. Do you remember what they were? Liter, meter, gram, okay? Liter, meter, and gram. So we're going to write underneath here that the first little bubble is going to be the metric system. The metric system is based off powers of 10. Okay? That's really important because it makes things really, really easy for us. Okay? So if I have 1 meter, or let's say I have 4 meters and I want to know how many centimeters it is, all I have to do is multiply it times 100. 400. How easy is that? So everything has to do with 10, 100, 1,000, whatever. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is what they start with and what they end with. Where's my red? So metric units they start with these different words. So you'll either see centi, you'll see milli, you'll see deci, you'll see, here I'll do little things because I'm trying to tell you it's centi something, milli something, deci something, kilo something, oops, I meant to have that be a bubble, hecto even in some cases, but the ones that you'll really see are those centi, milli, kilo, okay? Those are the ones that we'll really see. You can put a star next to those. Those are the ones that you need to focus on memorizing. Centa, milli, kilo, okay? And then metric units end with metric units end with either liter, meter, or gram. How easy is that? It's all different kind of combinations of these. So we'll have centiliter, milliliter, kiloliter. We'll have centimeter, millimeter, kilometer. We'll have centigram, milligram, kilogram. We'll have all of those, okay? So let's get down to business. This is the order of how they go from greatest to least, okay? So we have the ones that I want you to focus on. We're going to do, let's do meters, okay? But it goes for any of the other ones too. It goes for liters and grams as well. So the biggest one would be a kilometer or kilometer, okay? Kilometer. Do you see the combination right there? I've got kilo, which is right there, and I've got meter, which is right there. It's a combination, right? The next thing would be a meter. The next thing would be a centimeter. So we call these right here in the middle, these meter, it would say either meter, liter, or gram. That would be our base measurement, okay? So it's one of those is what we base everything else on. Okay, so this is our base right here. So it doesn't have anything in front of it. It's just a meter. It's a liter. It's a gram, okay? Centimeter, and then finally millimeter. So let me put let's do this in here. So this would be biggest to smallest. All right. And the most important things that you need to, I'm actually going to show you in arrows, I think. I think that would be the easiest way to show you. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way for you to see this. I'm going to show you in a visual, and then I'll give you a little bit of a key over here. So to get from meters to kilometers, I'm going to multiply times 1,000. Okay? Or I'm sorry, I just did that the wrong way. My bad. To get from kilometers to meters, I'm going to multiply times 1,000. Okay? To get from meters to centimeters, I'm going to multiply times 100. And to get from meters, so to get from meters to centimeters, to get from meters to millimeters, I'm going to multiply times 1,000. So 1 millimeter is 1,000th of a meter. A centimeter is 100th of a meter. Okay, these are both smaller than a meter, so they're going to be fractions. If I have one of either of these, they're going to be fractions of a meter. All right, and then a meter is 1,000th of a kilometer. So a kilometer is really, really big. Okay, so this is 1,000th of this. This is 1,000th of this. This is 100th of this. This is 1,000th of this, of the baseline. So I'm going to put a box around this. This is our baseline. That's why I'm putting a box around it. Okay. So let's do a little key over here. So 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. Sorry, I'm writing kind of small. Equals 1,000 meters. That's our only one that has 1 kilometer. Remember the 1 always goes with the bigger one? Remember on our double T charts, 1 always goes with the big one. So I'm going to, do a little squiggly line. 1 meter equals either 100 centimeters or 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. All right. So a meter either equals 100 centimeters or 1,000 millimeters. So that means that if I have a ruler, I'm just going to use this ruler right here, that if this was a meter, so right now this is just a foot, right? So I can see that there's about 30 centimeters in a foot. But if this were a whole meter, I would have 100 of these little centimeters across that whole meter. That's how I could divide that up. These little bitty lines that you see in between the 14 and 15, those are millimeters. So that's how tiny a millimeter is. It's from, look, I'll even get it closer for you. You see the little lines between between 13 and 14, you see those little lines? Those are millimeters. That's how long a millimeter is from one line to the next. All right, so millimeters are super small. That would be 1,000 of those would have to make up a meter. Remember when I showed you a meter stick or a yardstick? Remember our meter stick is just a couple inches longer than a yardstick. So let's go ahead and try a couple of conversions. So you have that handy. You know that, centi means 100 too, right? And milli means 1,000, and kilo also means 1,000, but they mean 1,000 in different ways, right? Milli equals 1,000th. Okay, so let's try a conversion. Let's say that I have 27 meters, and I want to know how many millimeters that equals. So I'm going to go ahead and make my double T chart. Still the same as whenever we did the the customary, right? We're still using a double T chart. But what am I trying to find? Oh, I forgot something. I forgot to tell you how to abbreviate them. Okay. So, it's always going to be, kilometer would, for example, be km. Meter would just be m. Centimeter would be cm. Millimeter would be mm. They're all in lowercase, and it's all usually whatever the first letter is of that first half and the first letter of the second half. And they're all lowercase except for liters. Liter is always going to be with a capital L. And it's usually so people don't confuse it as being a 1. Okay? So if it were kiloliters, it would be lowercase k, capital L. That's the only difference. Otherwise, they're pretty easy to remember how they're abbreviated. So, if I'm converting from meters to millimeters, well, which one's bigger, a meter or a millimeter? Let's refer back to our journal entry. I see that this is the biggest and this is the smallest. Well, is a millimeter bigger or smaller than meter? It is smaller. So that is going to come in handy in just one second. So, but what am I trying to find? I'm trying to find millimeters. So that's going to go on the right, millimeters. And I'm given meters, so that goes on the left. Rule goes in the middle. We just said that meters was bigger, so meters gets the 1. How many millimeters are in a meter? 1,000. 1,000. How do I get from 1 to 1,000? Times 1,000, right? Okay, now I plug in my number of meters, 27, and I multiply it times 1,000. Luckily, I know how to find a hidden fact. I hope you haven't forgotten about that. And I would see 27 times 1 is 27, and I need to add 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3, add my comma. So 27 meters equals 27,000 millimeters. You notice that they're really, really fun and really nifty. Whatever number you have right here, you should have those in your answer somewhere. You should have a 2 in your and a 7 in your answer in some way or another. The place value has changed, but all you're doing is adding zeros or taking away zeros, depending on how you're converting. Okay? We will work more with this tomorrow, but that was a good little intro. Try to study these right here and make sure that you're familiar with at least these 4. So, and remember that this really just goes for anything ending in, so kilo will always be the biggest, milli will always be the smallest, your baseline will always be right here, and then centi will always be right before millimeter, okay, or milli, sorry. No matter if it ends in meter, liter, meter, or gram, it's always going to go biggest to smallest in this way, okay? All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.